Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be going over my Mermay speed paintings and along with the history of every dessert that I put on my Mermay prompt. And for those of you who don't know what Mermay is, well, every year in May all the artists come together and they create beautiful pieces of mermaids, whether it's 3D, 2D, a clay part, a video, doesn't matter what it is. The theme that month is mermaid, and people usually follow a prompt or they do their own thing, whichever floats your boat. And this year I did my own prompt like I did last year, which was coffee and tea theme, if y'all remember that. And this year I decided to follow the cafe theme but do a cafe mermaid, which means desserts from cafes. So each dessert that's in my list is actually desserts chosen not just by me, but by my friends that follow my Instagram. And thank you so much for giving these options. And yeah, let's get into it. While we're going over my speed painting, I will be giving you the history of that dessert and just some reasons why I chose the design I did. Why not? So let's get into it with ice cream, which is my all-time favorite dessert. I can have it any time of the year. Cold season, hot season, you name it, I'm gonna have a pint. It doesn't matter. I just love ice cream. And so the origins of ice cream says it's actually from China. Who knew? It was actually made by the Emperor of Tang Dynasty. They called it frozen milk-like confection. Don't know how I really feel about that, but it sounds like something I would try. It was made with cow, goat, or buffalo milk heated with flour. It was picked up in Italy as cream ice, which over time changed into gelato. And France started to share around the world when Queen Catherine married King Henry II of France. She actually comes back into the dessert history later down the line of the ones I'm listing. She's a big influence on a few of these. So as you're seeing my speed painting of my ice cream choice, I wanted to kind of push the boundaries of design for myself and of course do full body for every mermaid. In my ice cream dessert design, I kind of wanted to make the tail a waffle cone, and I wanted to use actually black sesame ice cream because honestly that's one of my favorite ice creams other than cookie dough ice cream or cake batter. But black sesame, always my top one. It has like a little peanut note to it, which makes it really good. If you're allergic to peanuts, I'm sorry, because some of these do have peanuts in them, so I do apologize. And the fish companion that I wanted to do is actually originated in the seas close to China as a sturgeon rockfish. And I wanted just to give them a little bit of a chocolate syrup with the strawberry ice cream design. So let's go into thick chocolate cake. Now my friend Thea came with this idea, and for this one it was originated from United States and Egypt. Ancient Egypt had traces that started showing that they had advanced baking early in the years creating cake. They would make this honey sweetened dessert bread, which kind of similar to a cake, which honestly I'm 100% for. I would try that and eat that every single day. Now, America comes into play in 1886, where chocolate cake was invented in Texas by adding cocoa to the batter mix. From my research, they said that German chocolate cake was invented in Texas. So in this design, I kind of wanted to do a thick chocolate fish breed where all the fishes wanted to eat them because they were so good. Because, come on, we all love a good chocolate cake, a nice one. And for some of these, I based the mermaid off the origin of the country, or I just decided to base it off of the dessert itself. The ice cream piece was kind of influenced by the ice cream itself and just kind of and the sturgeon rockfish. But in the chocolate cake, I wanted to base it off the chocolate cake itself, so I picked the frosting and the chocolate cake theme color and put it into this piece that I have now. So yeah, that is my thick chocolate cake. Now moving on to the fruity macaron, which I love fruit macarons. I think they are just the best thing ever. For this piece, I chose watermelon because you don't really see watermelon that much out in the dessert world when I would go get macarons for myself or my fiance, and so I wanted to just be a little different, and watermelon is my #1 favorite fruit, so why not? So fruity macarons was actually invented in Italy. It was the first to bring about this very hard cookie to make, which, remember Queen Catherine that we mentioned in the ice cream history? Well, she's back, and she said that she is the one who brought it when she was marrying King Henry to France. Well, let's be clear. Her chef brought it to France. She just assisted by bringing her chef to France when she came over here with her husband. So, yeah, I mean, good assist, ma'am. These macarons are actually still created similarly when they were made back then to now. We just use more jams and ganaches than just a cream like they did back then. So that's the history of these fruity macarons. So, in this piece, I decided to use the fruity macaron to influence my mermaid piece, which I kind of want to use a manta ray for my mermaid, and I thought it would fit considering the shape from the head to the bottom of my mermaid. And I love the colors. I love that pink and green mixture. It's a very nice color palette that I enjoy, and I thought, why not? It's gonna look great. So yeah, that's my piece. It was really fun to create all these little manta rays just having fun with the macarons. So yeah, that's my fruity macaron. Let's move to tiramisu, which is my fiance's favorite. He actually made it for my birthday. It was pretty good. The tiramisu was invented in the early 1800s by Alba de Pilo, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. She made it in the restaurant that she owned with her husband. This translates to cheer me up or pick me up, which was eaten at the end of a meal and to bring the consumer a better enjoyment feeling. Of course, it was infused with coffee, so I say anything related to coffee is a great pick me up. I mean, come on. My mermaid is around a cafe or coffee. Come on. So in this piece, I wanted to play with the tiramisu colors in my piece, so I kind of created a silk character, which is a seal and a mermaid together. I did give my character whiskers near the end to give it that walrus feel too, and why not? I liked her style and I like how she looks. And she's just chilling with her 2 baby walruses. Or seals. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just do something different. I never made one of these before and I loved it. So moving on to my red velvet piece. Now, red velvet is actually my least favorite. My friend Ariel picked this one for me. Red velvet was invented in the United States, in New York, right? Go New York! This cake was known as a velvet cake, being rich in flavor, and was considered an elegant cake that was brought to fancy parties in the early 1800s. It was traditionally called velvet cake. They believed that the cocoa in the acid of the flour they used created a chemical reaction that made the cake batter red. Who knew, right? I mean, I don't think there was food coloring back then or anything like that, so I believe it. This cake was announced hard to make, and only the best of best chefs were able to make it, and for some of them, it took them more than one attempt to make it. That's how hard it was to get this. So in this design, I kind of wanted to do the color scheme from the red velvet and play with it a little bit into a jellyfish design to give it that glow effect. I was honestly trying to play with a lot of glow intensity in drawings, considering that I'm working on a comic for my other job and I wanted to practice more on that glowing effect since I'm in a chapter with a bunch of glowing material. So why not keep practicing it in my own personal art? And honestly, this was really fun. So for this design, I kind of wanted to play with the ballerina clothing on her top, where the jellyfish part is kind of like a tutu for her, and it glows brighter from there. And I want to kind of make this seem that the glow was a dance that she was portraying. So that was really fun to draw, and so was her little jellyfish friends. And for the next one is flan, and flan actually is my second favorite dessert, and I will say this is my second favorite piece that I did for this whole Mermay. I was actually in an art block before getting into the flan design. I was having a hard time trying to come up with concepts. I was trying to find out what exactly would fit with a flan, like what kind of fish mermaid would fit with it. So I did betta fishes, and I don't know what happened. I just got my groove back and it came out amazing to me. So let me give you the history before I go into my art design. So flan was actually originated from, well, a lot. Rome, Spain, and the Philippines. Growing up in the Filipino culture, flan was always around, and it took more of studying and understanding that flan comes in all cultures, and each culture has their own twist actually. So when doing research, flan was actually invented in Rome, where they put honey on theirs in their culture, and Spain later adopted it, making the flan with whole eggs instead. And in the Philippines, they actually use the egg yolk, so it's a little bit more denser than the Spanish kind. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, and we're all allowed to have whatever opinion that is, I like the Filipino flan a bit more for the filling part, but the Spanish one is so much lighter, and sometimes they like to mix it with a layer of chocolate cake or brownie. Oh, it's so good. You guys have to go and try some. Go now and come back to this video. Oh wait. So flan is an amazing example of dessert just being adapted by all types of culture, and each culture having their own twist to still say that this is what they eat in their culture. It's pretty amazing. And this piece, I gotta say, is amazing. So I took the color palette for this flan and added it to my character. Soon we'll have prints on my Etsy because this piece is just so dang gorgeous to me. I just had to share it with you guys. So yeah, I love this piece. It got me back in the groove for my art block. And yeah, let's go into my final piece, the donut, which we all know from my previous videos. I don't really like donuts. I just like how they look, except for Voodoo Donuts. Voodoo Donuts are the best, and you can find them up north of America, or LA, or the City Walk in Universal Studios. So, donuts was invented by Dutch settlers in New York, created a oil cake, aka Grandpa Donut, aka the donut. Hanson Gregory was the inventor. On the ship he was working, he didn't like how greasy the old donut style would be and how sometimes the center wouldn't be cooked. So he decided to make a ring of dough, fry them, and boom! Here comes a donut. The very first flavor of a donut was nutmeg and cinnamon, which sounds amazing. I like very doughy bread types of donuts. That hits the spot. And so for this design, I wanted to do an octopus and just have the donuts all over the piece. And I wanted to do something different and create my own little creature of an octopus. And the color palette, of course, was just what would be on a donut, like the icing and all. And I added sprinkles, of course. Come on, it's a donut. You can't have a donut without sprinkles. And as we're finishing up this donut speed painting, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more notifications. And let me know which dessert was your favorite and which history shocked you the most. Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!